It's Mueller time.
But now it's Mueller time!
You remember that catchy little slogan the left proudly peddled around? Well, guess who's laughing now, chumps? For 2 long years, all we heard were tinfoil-wearing idiots perpetuating nothing more than an unfounded myth. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my reaction to the Mueller Report.
But now it's Mueller time!
It's Mueller time! For 2 long years, pretentious liberals pranced around in their rainbow overalls, spouting this catchy little slogan. It's Mueller time! The left was thrilled. They finally thought they could take down the orange drumpf. The good economy, the increased black employment, the ever-shrinking welfare state were all just a little too fascist. It was a myth hatched by the queen bitch herself, Hillary Clinton, and the mainstream media absolutely loved it. All we heard for the past 2 years was that Donald Trump colluded with Russia. Every single anti-Trump protest was filled with newly divorced losers holding signs claiming that Trump colluded with Russia. Most notably, last year the New York Times published a homophobic cartoon depicting Trump and Putin as gay lovers. I don't know what's more surprising here. The fact that New York Times would publish something so horribly offensive, or the fact that the illustrators could take so much as a 15-minute break from jerking each other off. But it didn't matter, because the left, the media, had finally gotten Donald Trump. He had colluded with Russia, and it was only a matter of time before he was thrown in jail for the rest of his life. At least, that's what MSNBC told me. Throughout this whole debacle, I feel like the mainstream media and the left kinda saw themselves like this. According to our in-depth analysis, Donald Trump possibly colluded with the Russian government. Our in-depth journalists are working around the clock to bring you more in-depth research into this breaking and disturbing news. Donald Trump is going down. When in reality, we kind of all saw them like this, and they've now been confirmed to be like this. Trump colluded with Russia. BuzzFeed told me. We are unearthing a giant conspiracy here. Trump and Putin are practically starring in Big Daddy Russian dominates Little Oompa Loompa. Besides the New York Times, this nothing burger was further pushed by some of these losers as well. Commie News Network first reported on a briefing Trump received about some dossier. Next, the dumpster of the internet BuzzTurd published the entire dossier despite it containing unfounded accusations. Representative Adam Schiff was a huge cheerleader for this Russian collusion hoax, along with Benjamin lacking in wit, Hillary Clinton, and Robbie Kook. Little did they know this baseless celebratory orgasm was about to come crashing down. Finally, just a few days ago, after years of conspiracy theories pushed by the left, the Mueller Report concluded. I figured I'd read what happened from CNN so we can picture the entire newsroom crying harder than when they found out Donald Trump won the presidency. The investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in its election interference activities. Trump and his allies are already seizing on that line of the summary released Sunday, and it's undoubtedly a major headline pushing back on 2 years of Democrats claiming they had evidence of collusion. Yes, let's go ahead and call this what it is. A huge victory for Trump and his supporters, and an absolute embarrassment for liberals everywhere. All of these stupid Democrats, all of these pretentious liberals and talk show hosts have now been reduced to nothing more than the poor, embarrassed kid who peed through his clothes on the playground. When it came to the obstruction claims, they couldn't even press charges because they lacked underlying evidence. Barr also said the president's actions did not constitute obstructive conduct and were not done with corrupt intent. While this report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him. Mueller wrote on his report as Barr quoted him on Sunday. Now this is a bit of a technicality, but it's still important. Donald Trump has been claiming that this is an exoneration, and in that aspect, he is incorrect. Trump should really ditch the exoneration claims and stick to rubbing the fact that he has another win under his belt in the faces of the snide Democrats. And the snide Democrats have had nothing but sad faces lately. Because when your entire base is built around fuck Trump rather than trying to present better ideas, it's actually bad news that your president isn't a Russian asset. The Young Turks have claimed Trump being cleared is the worst case scenario. No, the worst case scenario is the fact that you guys are considered a news publication. Everyone's favorite Rachel Maddow actually appears to be in tears when she's breaking the news.
And obviously right now we have mostly just a ton of questions as to what Mueller's report says, how complete it is, who gets to see it, who gets to decide who gets to see it, and when.
Rachel Maddow is actually refusing to accept this news. According to the Washington Post, Rachel Maddow won't let the Mueller probe go. A day after Attorney General William P. Barr said Special Prosecutor Robert S. Mueller hadn't found collusion, Maddow, primetime TV's primary proponent of the conspiracy angle, still was not buying it. Well, of course she isn't. Without this Russian collusion hoax, her ratings would drop lower than her IQ. Instead, Maddow moved on to two related questions. Did Trump obstruct justice? And did Barr let him get away with it? Right, on to the next conspiracy theory. And Rachel, I can actually answer your question. They didn't have enough evidence to convict Donald Trump of obstruction. It's innocent until proven guilty, my friend. But this is what happens when you value narrative over fact. So sit your lesbian ass down, Rachel Maddow. For the last 2 years, you perpetuated nothing but lies and a conspiracy theory just to try and save your dying show. You are nothing more than a leftist mouthpiece living in denial that you were wrong. DNC Chair Tom Perez claimed the question for him was if Mueller had been compromised. I think you losers need to go back to sipping your soy and petting your cats. You all are obviously doing nothing more than pushing now proven conspiracy theories for your own political gain. I'd tell you all to sit down, but I think you need the exercise. $2 years and $30 million is what it took to tell us what we already knew. There was no Russian collusion, Donald Trump won the election fairly, and Democrats are just sore losers. I think for one thing, this entire debacle paints a very clear picture of how the left puts feelings over facts. When something supports their anti-Trump agenda and appeals to their hormonal emotions, they don't care about the facts. They don't care if there's any truth to the matter. Because if a lie is repeated enough times, it becomes the truth. They can no longer win on facts or ideas, so they peddle lies and push ridiculous conspiracies. This also reveals, once again, the horrible double standard between liberals and conservatives. The left pushes a conspiracy theory and is supported by the mainstream hacks until it leads to a full-fledged investigation. Meanwhile, when the right perpetuates any kind of speculation, for example, Hillary's health, they're written off as conspiracy theorists and mocked into oblivion. This entire Russian collusion hoax began because the Democrats are sore losers. They couldn't bring themselves to accept defeat and to accept the fact that Donald Trump actually beat their precious Hillary Clinton. So they went ahead and peddled lies in hopes of taking Donald Trump down. However, all this has done is made Donald Trump and his supporters even stronger. This has greatly damaged the mainstream media's credibility, and this has given Trump fresh ammunition, all only a short time away from the 2020 election. Thanks to the whining liberals and the lying media, Trump's chances of re-election have gone up even higher. So Democrats, you guys have fun with Alex Jones while you drum up more conspiracy theories, and we'll sit tight and enjoy another 5 years of winning.
But now it's Mueller time.